welcome him to the stage, Ryan Madden.
Alright, so I'm going to do my best to tell this. It's like, kind of still a little bit fresh, the worst of part. I thought I had to combine, like, do best of, worst of. I didn't think about combining them. That was a brilliant move, everybody. Damn it. But, so, when we get to the worst of part, I'll work on that. And basically, so we have to do a little prologue here. So we gotta get a little Debbie Downer, but I couldn't figure out how to get around it. Because, like, I was like, well, worst of times, we could get, like, all perspective shit on it and be like, it was the worst of times that I was riding, like, a beautiful clown bicycle, and that'd be a fun story, but no. But what we did is that I'm a bit of an alcoholic. I'm not a recovering alcoholic, because that doesn't sound cool. I'm a battling alcoholic is what I am. And so, like, basically, just so you don't think I'm schizophrenic by the end of this conversation, I have to explain, like, you know, some cool little alcoholic factoids for you for the trading card. First off, like, you got, like, 85% of your brain and 15% of your brain, right? And 85% of your brain is not an alcoholic, and it's, like, kind of cool, and it understands things. And then there's the 15% of your brain that would like to bury you, because it's never heard of, like, self-preservation, apparently. So to put it in perspective, like, when you look back on, like, this fucking, you know, shepherd's march kind of burning past 7 years of your life, kill everything beautiful thing, 85% of you is like, Jesus Christ, let's never do that again. And then 15% of you has a freaky accent probably, and it's just like, no, this is where we belong, we deserve this. Get to the bottom of the bottle as fast as you can, run. So, that's the prologue. So, the first thing, best of times, is a little story I like to call the least articulate way anybody has ever escaped from the actual police department. It's a college story. I'm not condoning the use of drugs, I'm condoning college for everybody. So, basically, the blue lights hit us on the soccer stadium stands at a certain local university, because somebody had to have ratted us out, because no one could have ever found our secret hideout that no one could have ever thought of before. So, like, we stand, we freak out, we're high, that's what happens. And so, like, there are choices at this moment. One of them is to kind of walk forward and kind of leave the rosemary pasta party smelling thing behind and go talk to the officer and try and cool out and maybe just, you know, see if it's cool. But this is clearly not an option that any of my 4 friends have thought of, or myself. So we stand up, and the soccer field is very large, so there's an officer, like, very far away. It would be very easy to just say calmly and coolly, we'll call him Ben, if he had thought to go, I've had a thought about jumping over the fence over there and running from an officer of the law. And we could all go, let's ponder that while they're on their way over. But instead, Ben screams out, we've got to get home now! Clearly the cop can hear it, so she starts bowling, like, at us. So all of a sudden we're like, away! And I just want to tell you that, like, Navy SEALs do not synchronize better than a bunch of high kids running from an officer who probably doesn't really care that much about this. Like, at the time, you're like, we're super secret agents. But no, this cop is probably like, do I want to give these kids, like, evading officer charges? No, they're like 5. No, 5. So, like, we bolt the fence. We're running down through these woods, right? Down. Don't record the landscape. It's not familiar at all. So, going down, charging through, and then I realized that what I saw her do before I jumped the fence was she stopped. And I realized that meant she must be speeding down, because basically all you gotta do is go to the end of the road and turn right, and you're on the road that we're headed towards. And so I scream, articulating this very well, she's got a car! Which everybody in this group knows, because it was flashing blue lights. That's our key. No one could have missed it. So, but that's the code, Navy SEAL synchronization. You just, like, imagine, like, from The Rock, like this pivoting thing going on where everyone drags across downhill and stops, primed to be in the Special Forces, because that's where we thought we were going. And then the lights go by, and it's amazing, and we think we've escaped. And then my friend, who we will call Jill, says the closest thing to a statement, which is back. Because if you were to describe her plan, you might actually use the word back in the sentence you were about to say. So then we sprint up the hill, back over the fence, back onto the soccer field, do a better job than UNCA soccer has ever done taking that field, and make it safely home. So that's like the best of times. And because we got away from the cops. I'm sorry, I don't think they were really after us. Okay, now, worst of times was like, okay, basically, while recovering, that's why we had to give the alcoholic thing away, because like, you know, otherwise it's like, well, why do you need a therapy dog, dude? But I do not have a therapy dog. I want to say that, because that is of a caliber below me. I have a canine rehabilitation assistant. And her name is Princess Awesome, and she is cool. And like, she's not even my dog. Like, I get to visit her on the occasional day off I get. I usually, like, it's very easy to like get over alcoholism if you like work doubles every day. That's the key. Get lots of jobs. If you were wondering. So like, on Sunday, I visit Lacey, which is her real name, but Princess Awesome is pseudonym. And like, we hang out, we chill. It's like anytime that like my day off gets a little depressing, start thinking about stuff, go hang out with Lacey. She's awesome. She's like Fight Club, because like Fight Club's the reason that you like trim your hair short. Like, it's like the reason you like shave mutton chops, because she likes chewing on this part. And she's my nemesis, and I want to win in battle, so that confuses her, and I get it. But yeah. And so, like, I get out last night, and I go home and like, pretty much just thinking I'm just going to scooter right over there, hang out, chill with Lacey. And Lacey isn't there. And Lacey is in reach, and she's got like Parvo symptoms. And it's like, I don't know, it's stupid. It will not end like that. Okay, we're cool. But I don't know, it just kind of hit me how like stuff can kind of hit you stupid a little bit, where it's like, it's a dog. I know people who like are losing family members at this time, like very important people in their lives. And there's no way that you could really talk to them and be like, hey, I know you're going through this thing, and you're holding your shit together, and I'm falling to pieces because of this dog isn't even mine. I see it once, a week. But it was just messy, because like basically heard it on the phone, dropped it, and like the 85% of your brain kicks in really quick, and it's like, Ryan, here's a heads up. You didn't give a dog Parvo. You didn't like change your laundry detergent to Parvo and give it to the fucking dog. Chill out. And then like, but there's 15%, and that guy's a motherfucker, and he's just like, well, maybe you didn't give it Parvo, but maybe, you're like a reverse King Midas, and everything you touch turns to shit, and that kind of thing. That's quite possible. And just, it hit me that like, I've experienced death in like a lot of stuff. Like, it's not like this was my first brush with death, and I'm like, oh my god, a puppy. It's like, I mean, I've said goodbye to like 21-year-old kids who like are dead just because some jackass cut drugs with antihistamines and shit like that. And that didn't hit me this hard, so it's just a moment of realizing that like grief happens at like these really weird fucked up times. It was like the worst 2 hours of my life just waiting on this dog and thinking like the beautiful ways I was going to destroy myself if it didn't end up okay. And it did, and they called, and it doesn't have fucking Parvo. So, in fact, here's a little tidbit. She just likes ingesting crazy shit and freaking other people out, which means we have a lot in common, actually. So yeah, the best of times has been revised, and it is now this Sunday where, pardon the expression, I'm going to hug the fucking life out of that dog. Okay, thank you.